Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. They call him the boat, and we get ready to do this thing, man. It's been a drama-filled week, one should say. Coming from my perspective, I've been working all week, guys. I've been working all week, and then with breaking news, of course, happening. It's been a whirlwind for me. How you doing, dog? How you feel?
Hey, Book, I'm right there with you. I know that you've been traveling and doing everything. I'm feeling actually pretty relaxed. I've been spending time by the pool, been spending time in the yard, but we knew we had to do something special because a lot of stuff's been going on. And I think one of the biggest stories ever in the history of pro wrestling happened over the last couple of days. So I'm sure we're going to get into that.
Yeah. How can we not, man? The retirement of Vince McMahon, the creator of WrestleMania. We definitely got to dive into that, as well as some news going down in AEW. Actually, ROH, Jonathan Gresham, dropping the title to Claudio Castagnoli. Is that the way you?
Yeah.
Just making sure I get that right. As well as Jonathan Gresham saying, "Man, I want the hell out of here. Give me my release right now." We got to talk about that, man. We got to talk about that as well. But I really don't even know where to start, man. But I just know we had to come on and talk about the retirement of Vince McMahon. I mean, maybe that's what we should start, man. Seriously, because Macho Man said it best. Always expect the unexpected. You dig it? And it's true. You know what I mean? Always expect the unexpected. I didn't see it coming. I thought Vince was going to run to at least it was 80. He was going to try to, it's almost like, wrestlers want to have that 20-year run. Bosses, they want to have an 80-year run. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. What do you think, man? What do you think about Vince McMahon stepping away?
You know what? I feel a lot of things, but I think the first thing we have to say is, Vince, for me, gave me so many great moments. Like, I mean, he created this playground, right? That you got to be a cast member on, right? That you got to leave your mark on, and WrestleManias and SummerSlams and Survivor Series and Monday Night Raws and SmackDowns. It's a crazy thing because obviously we knew at some point Vince McMahon would have to step away. Like, we knew at some point Vince McMahon will not be in control of the WWE in any aspect. We knew that would happen eventually. But I'm not shocked, but I'm surprised, especially with all the things going on in the news regarding Vince, the scandals, if you will, that I'm sure contributed to this decision, along with age, right? I don't know if Vince has been thinking about this for any period of time. I don't really know. I mean, we're not Vince McMahon, but I'm surprised that this is kind of his exit.
Yeah, I can publicly say thanks to Vince McMahon. I say thank you, just for taking care of me and giving me a job and taking care of my family. Put me in a good position. Always put me in a good light. Always treated me with respect. More importantly than anything on that list, that one right there, above all, always treated me with respect. And what he gave to this business, like you say, so many people are going to have memories for forevermore. And I know there's a lot of hate out there. People celebrate Vince McMahon retirement, and I'm hoping he's retired. I'm hoping he's celebrating his retirement as well, and really saying, man, look what I created. I built that with these two hands right here. The question is, what's going to happen? What's going to happen without Vince McMahon? That's the question. That's the real question right there. What's going to happen without Vince McMahon at the helm? What do you think?
I mean, I think there's going to be positives and negatives, right? I think the fact that Vince isn't around anymore, you've had one man literally one person for the last 40 years, maybe almost, one guy be the sole creative entity within an organization, right? Which, first off, we should applaud anybody who's had that great of a run in any industry. Because make no mistake, this isn't like hero worship or idol worship. But Vince McMahon, he's in a very small class of individuals, along with guys like Walt Disney, Steve Jobs, Henry Ford, just titans of their individual industry that revolutionized it and turned it into a global, international, multi-billion-dollar industry. There's very few people who've ever done that in the history of the world. So let's give some claps to McMahon on that one. But what happens afterward? We're going to find out, right? We're going to find out. I think that when you can bring new blood into a machine that already works, like to use my Henry Ford example, right? Henry Ford created the automobile as we know it, the Model T Ford. But think about how many evolutions have happened in automobiles since Henry Ford has moved on to the other side, right? Now we have this great car. We have this great body, this great engine of the WWE. Who can come around now who's going to innovate what's already great? Who can find the inefficiencies and make it even better? I'm excited for that. I'm excited for it from a creative aspect.
Yeah.
I don't know who that person is.
Yeah. The part that gives me, like you say, idol worship. So I've been hearing that word thrown around a whole lot. As far as why are people idol worshiping, Vince McMahon? Because he did a great thing, first and foremost. And then I hear those same people say, his time has passed. He should just step away and go away. How you going to tell a man to step away from something that is his? Okay. If that person don't, God forbid, pass away or walk away on his own, who's to tell them? I mean, especially if they're still of sound mind. Okay. If I'm, if I'm still of sound mind, how are you going to tell me to walk away from something that I built? People that talk like that obviously has never built anything. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, because I know I've built a small company in Texas. It's called Reality of Wrestling, and I know if I got to the point to where someone was saying, "Man, Book need to walk away from his own company," I might just want to shut the whole thing down.
Well, think of it this way, though. Think of it this way. It's like it's your child, right? No one says, you know what, you've had a good run parenting this kid. Why don't you walk away? Let someone else be the dad. Like nobody says that.
That's a great analogy, man. I'm serious. That's what I'm thinking too. So when I hear people talk like that, I say, what are you talking about? Obviously, you've never built anything. Obviously, you've never nurtured something, and watched it grow. And then someone tell you, actually, we're going to take this away from you. No, you can't have this anymore. So people like that, man, just need to just think about themselves for a second. Check yourself for 1 second when you think like that, because there again, man, until you want to do it yourself, I don't think no one should be able to tell you to walk away from something that you built, something that's yours. And the thing is, that's the thing. People always on the outside, I always say, when you see someone else with a business, you could comment on it, you could speculate, but until it's yours, you don't know how you're gonna run it.
Oh yeah. And I think that he left it in capable hands. His daughter, Stephanie McMahon, is co-CEO and chairwoman of WWE. Paul Levesque, Triple H, is back as head of talent relations. Nick Khan's in there handling his business as a co-CEO. Still, we don't know who's going to be in charge of creative, but I do have a lot of questions for you, Book, as somebody who's worked next to Vince McMahon, or worked with him or for him in WWE for 20 years, 21 years, something like that.
22 years, man. Yeah.
20 plus?
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions. I do. I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure everybody watching or listening right now has a lot of questions. If you have one, super chat it in. We're taking any and all questions. If you want to tell us what you think about Vince McMahon stepping away, what do you think about his retirement? What's your favorite Vince memory of all time? I'd like to hear it in the chat, and we'll read them here on the show. But Book, there's a lot. There's still, even outside of Vince, there's a lot to get into, but there's a lot more on this Vince McMahon story.
Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, and Diego De La Cruz now, obviously the veteran here, between the two. Wait a minute, head scissor. Les hit the head scissor. That takes some crazy athleticism. Splash. Les is showing us what he's got. Oh my gosh, cover 1, 2, and oh man. Aiden Cristiano there, and now it's Bedlam. It's Bedlam. It's a brawl. It's a brawl here at the Summer of Champions. Your damn popcorn. Go keto.
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We're talking the retirement of Vince McMahon. So hey, what's the question, Brad? I know we got some super chatters out there.
But we do have some super chats. Real quick, our first one is from DJ1491, who said, "Love him or hate him, Vince McMahon changed the world." Wow, definitely in terms of pro wrestling, he changed it. Right? I mean, that's undeniable. That's undeniable. I wanted to ask you though about Vince. What was your first interaction with him? Because obviously when WCW went under in March of 2001, you were both the heavyweight and US champion. You were highly sought after. WWE, you were one of the people who made the most sense, even from a fan's perspective of Book's got to go to the WWF at this point. What was your first conversation like with Vince, or your first meeting? Because I know Linda McMahon said, "We finally got you."
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that's, but I don't think I know your first meeting with Vince and how that all went.
I can't even remember my first meeting with Vince, to be honest. I
Wow.
really can't. I really can't, because I didn't get, the, flown up to the mansion, and, we have a talk, and then, you're going to be the Undertaker. I didn't get that, that spiel, as soon as I came in, I pretty much went to work. And then somewhere down the line, I'm sure I met Vince, but it was one of those things to where we had a conversation to talk about where I was going to go in the company or anything like that. That never happened. And honestly, I remember hearing Bagwell tell a story once, and he said, Vince had brought him up to, the mansion and was talking about bringing him in, but that was before the company had got bought out. Company got bought out. It was a totally different Vince as far as Bagwell go. But I've heard that about a lot of guys, getting, flown up and, one should say courted a little bit. I was never courted or anything like that. They put my ass right to work.
I mean, obviously, I've actually never met Vince McMahon. I've been backstage and I've walked past him in the hallway, but that's the extent of my experience with him. But for you, knowing who he was beforehand, I'm sure in WCW, you kind of have a caricature of who you think that he might be in your head, just like all of us do. I mean, everyone thinks before you meet him, I'm sure, like, well, damn it, Book, talking like that and all that stuff. Did he meet your expectations as to who you thought he was going to be when you got to know him a little bit?
Yeah. I got a chance to know Vince, relatively quick, because back then when I came in, Vince was still kind of like one of the boys, even though he was still the boss. He still would rib you. He would pull stupid pranks. You couldn't do nothing but laugh about it. But he always treated me there again with respect. Um, I always knew he was the boss. Okay. I never, looked at Vince, just say, for instance, like Eric Bischoff and Vince McMahon. I looked at those two guys totally different. I looked at Eric Bischoff more as an executive. Okay.
Right.
And I looked at Vince more of like the boss, like the shot caller, the guy that like just say, for instance, when you're in the mafias, there's one, it's only one John Gotti. Okay, that's who Vince was. He was like John Gotti,
Right.
and he was all business. It was all about that show and making sure that show was the best thing that anybody could ever see as far as wrestling goes, and creating the best show that anybody that had ever seen from a wrestling perspective. Um, and he was so laser focused. I respected that. I learned so much from Vince McMahon. I really did. I learned so much from a business perspective from Vince, and how to run my company and try to really think outside the box. So yeah, man. I always had a really really good relationship with Vince McMahon.
Well, I mean, when you came in, you did the deed with Austin. I mean, that was your first program, right? It was with Steve Austin, really, right? I mean, you kind of dump him on the table your first night in, and then the grocery store brawl. I remember you were paired with Vince for a while, right? Like you were
Yeah,
Vince's
yeah,
guy,
yeah,
like
yeah,
you were
yeah.
his number one.
Calling him on the phone and stuff. Yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah.
how was it working with him in that aspect of like, well, he's the boss, he's the John Gotti, but we're doing this skit together. We're doing this on camera thing. We're characters together. How was he in that aspect?
Nah, man. There again, just what you saw on television. The stuff that with Vince and I. And I'm calling him, telling him, I'm doing this and that, and whatnot. And we're laughing about it, but I remember actually doing that scene. Um, I got a chance to see Vince really micromanage everything, and I'm talking about we. It wasn't like being real nice about it. It's like it was a lot of yelling going on. Reminds me of when I got my clipboard and people like, what the hell's going on? And I was like, man, it just showed me, man, you got to be on point in that company. You got to be ready to take care of business, and that's just the way I respect that. I respect that 100%. He was a real man's man. I mean, working with him for me, uh, what a highlight. Working with Shane McMahon, as well. What a highlight. Doing stuff with Steph. I mean, for me, yeah, it was. I've had the pleasure, man, of working with that family, and Vince is always there again. Always treated me good. Always.
Um, I don't know if this is a controversial take or not, but I kind of want to get your reaction to it because you might feel differently, and I want to see what the chat says. I'm not talking about as far as his in-ring acumen, because nobody's going to accuse Vince McMahon of being a great worker in the sense of executing wrestling moves. We were all there in Dallas this year. We saw the stunner. Okay, we saw the worst stunner of all time. Right? But as far as a wrestling heel, a guy who's supposed to generate heat, get people to hate him, so therefore the baby face, when he comes out and kicks his ass, feels all that much more special. I don't know if there's a better heel in the history of pro wrestling than Vince McMahon. When you see him cutting a promo, you thought this guy was the devil. Like you thought he was as evil as they come. I even remember he did the promo backstage in the vignette when he brought in the NWO. He's like, I'm going to inject my company with a lethal dose of poison. And you're like, oh, this guy's awful. I think he's the greatest heel of all time. Am I crazy in saying that? I think he's the greatest ever.
I mean, he's definitely it's an argument. Yeah, he's definitely in the conversation as far as being greatest heels. And the thing is, I'm sure Vince. I can almost. I'm almost 100%. Vince never really took any wrestling lessons or anything like that.
I don't think
But
anyone. And if he did, the trainer wouldn't want to take credit.
exactly. But he always knew, it worked. He always knew. I mean, I remember. I can't remember what it was, but I remember I had went out and I worked one night and I screwed something up and came back through the curtain and I was really upset about it. And I was like, man, I screwed that up. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how I screwed that up. And Vince goes, the reason you screwed it up is because you did it this way and you should have did it this way. And I go, damn it, how did I not know that? And he was 100% right. He was 100% correct. And I go, how did I not know that? So he was always astute to what was going on in that ring, and if guys were doing it right or if guys were doing it wrong, and he was quick to let you know if you were doing it wrong. And I never wanted to be on the receiving end of that because guys that came through that curtain through Gorilla, they did it wrong. Trust me, they knew it. They knew it.
I want to hear. I mean, look, we have to take a break in just a second, but the stories of did you ever see anybody who came through the curtain, did something wrong, and then he sent them back out there? Did that really happen?
Yeah, man, that's 100%, man. I've seen several guys come back through that curtain and have screwed something up, and they got to go back out there and redo it because we need to capture that moment properly for television. And that's the beauty of being able to tape certain shows. But just say for instance, if it's Monday night, that only happened like on SmackDown back in the day. But if it's a Monday night live, you might be in a lot of trouble. So the business, we was talking about it last week as far as my AQAs, my Roxanne's, Kylie Rays, my young girls that's gotten into this business, how much pressure it is to be young, to be in this business, because you got to be on point. You got to be able to go out there and you got to be able to execute, and not just every other time. You got to be able to do it every time, and it's such a hard deal. And it's a mental game at the same time. We got to take a break, guys. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. You're worth it.
Walker Texas Ranger handles the bad guys with a roundhouse kick. I'm Jim Walker, Walker Texas lawyer. I handle the insurance companies with a roundhouse kick to the wallet. If you've been injured in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, give me a call at 713-552-1117 or visit my website at walkertexaslawyer.com. You'll be glad you did. Why would you call anyone else?
Can you dig it, sucker? Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Brad, you all right? You good?
I'm good.
You got this crazy look on you. You're like looking all over the place. You know what I mean? Like you, like a rabbit. You know what I mean? Hopping all over the place, man. I was just checking, man. I know you tech. Making sure all the tech side, everything. All right. I just making sure you was all right. Making sure you was all good. Yeah. Hey guys, we got a SummerSlam coming up this Saturday, Nashville, and it's going to be good. It's going to be real good, as well as the end of the month. That's right, end of the month, the day after SummerSlam, right? Brad, it's going to be a big day. You're going to be a part of that, right?
Perhaps, but there's going to be Ric Flair's last match. It goes down in Nashville, Tennessee, as well. But look, we do have to get to SummerSlam talk because you and I will both be in attendance in Nashville, Tennessee. But real quick, we do have a couple super chats that I want to get through. Again, this is from Mick Mack, who says, "Hey, Book, you looked amazing in the ring last week." Well, thanks, Mick
Hey, man,
Mack.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate that, bro. I felt good. Wasn't quite 100%. I must confess. My right knee was like killing me like crazy, and I could not really perform 100% like I wanted to. I must confess that, guys. I'm not sitting here making excuses or anything like that, but my right knee has been giving me all kind of trouble, and it's not even swollen or anything. It looks normal. That's son of a gun, it hurts, and but I'm trying to get it right because it ain't over. It ain't over. I'm getting back in the ring again real soon. Um, I'm gonna do some things in reality of wrestling that you have never seen before. Very very soon, guys. If I and the thing is, if I can't have it, I will destroy it. That's just what I'm just saying. So just stay tuned to reality of wrestling. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. You're gonna see a whole lot more of Booker T.
Okay. Okay. Kylie Toenail here says, how do you feel about the alleged Brock walkout? Because he only wants to deal with Vince, even though he returned Friday. Do relationships change now? Yeah, you know what? It's interesting. After Vince made his announcement, allegedly, I still don't know the severity of the truth in this, but allegedly, Brock walked out of the building in Boston. They had to rewrite the whole show. And then, but by the end of the show, Brock was on the show. So I don't
Yeah.
know if he did walk out out of frustration and came back. Cooler heads prevailed. Nevertheless, what did you think about the Brock walkout? And do you think Vince retiring affects certain individuals, like superstars in their spot
Uh,
and position?
let's answer the second part first. Vince retired. Is it going to affect guys? Certain guys, especially certain guys in certain positions. Yeah, yeah, heck yeah. That's because a lot of these guys are used to dealing with Vince McMahon directly, um, and it's a certain comfort zone there that these guys had with Vince. They can knock on that door and they can go in there and they can actually have a conversation with him and get that that wisdom, that advice, from Vince. And I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of guys cherish that. A lot of guys, went through their whole careers, having Vince, be that umbrella, So yeah, yeah, heck yeah, I could totally understand that, 100%. But as far as the story about Brock Lesnar walking out, first of all, I don't know if Brock actually walked out. I don't know if that was just a story or not. But I'm sure Brock may have been one of those guys that was emotional and may have had to take a break and say, "Let me get out of here for a minute." I can see that. I can see that because I can't see Brock going to any of those guys around there to comfort him and talk to him. You know what I mean? So I can see Brock saying, "Man, let me get the hell out of here for a minute and go cool myself off." But I kind of like equated to. I remember when I was like I was about 12 years old, and I got so mad about something. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what it was, but I was so mad. And I said, "Man, I can't take this no more, man. I'm leaving. I'm leaving this damn house." And I ran away. All right. And I got, past, my elementary school, which was, probably about 10 blocks. And then I went on up to MLK Boulevard, which was probably another 8 to 10 blocks. And I got to the 7-Eleven, and I had no money and I was hungry. I, I ended up turning around, going back home, and nobody knew I ran away.
You know, I'll be honest with you with the Brock thing. With the Brock thing, I was ready, Booker. I'm gonna tell you, I was ready. to come on this show and give Brock the same energy that I gave, Sasha and Naomi saying,
No,
"Hey,
you wouldn't. No, you
I
wasn't.
would no, I was ready for it. Oh, no,
You
no,
wasn't
no.
ready.
I was writing the monologue. I was writing the monologue. I was ready for it. But here's the thing. I was ready for it, and I saw the entire internet was ready for it. They wanted WWE to say they summarily and unprofessionally walked out, did Brock Lesnar or whatever. But Brock was there. Now, again, some people have a theory that this was just done to mess with the online reporters to kind of rib them or something like that. I don't believe that. I think that Brock probably walked out. He was pissed off at Vince McMahon. We know that retired, and he probably didn't know about it ahead of time. Then he came back because he came to his senses, like you said, blew off some steam, and he did the job. By the way, he beat the hell out of Theory. Did you see this segment?
Yeah, it was
He
good.
took
Yeah.
he took that briefcase and hit the hell out of that young man to where
played his
Theory
role, too.
Theory finally turned
he
on
played
his
his role.
back.
Theory didn't look scared though. He didn't look scared. He stood up and took that woman like a man. So I got a lot of praise for Theory. A lot of praise.
No, he's great. But I wanted to ask about Sasha and Naomi. Do you think Vince leaving? Do you think Vince leaving is going to affect the WWE's relationship of Naomi and Sasha?
I don't know. I can't. I really can't answer that. To be honest, because I don't think what Sasha and Naomi, what happened with those two. I don't think it was personally a dig at Vince McMahon or anything like that. I think they had a personal issue with the company. Was the personal dig with Vince? It may have been, but was it a personal thing? I don't know. I can't answer that. But is it going to change the equation as far as them getting back and perhaps getting back in this? I do not know, and I can't even really go there because I don't know. I really don't. Sasha and Naomi, they're again both talent. But one thing about the business, you know, as you notice, since they left, the show still comes on every week.
Yeah, it does. That's true.
You right?
It still is on the air.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just saying, like, I don't know if because I know apparently Sasha and Naomi got into events that night and then they walked out. So I'm wondering if Vince not being there anymore changes the relationship.
Maybe my thing is if they wouldn't have got into it with Vince, they might have would have got into it with somebody else.
Right. I mean, they were creatively frustrated. So they
Yeah,
could have just,
yeah.
you're saying it could be anybody.
Yeah, I don't think that was just Vince. That they were, I think they were hot at the situation, and there again, maybe going and blow off some steam like Brock did, might have been a smart thing to do.
Yeah, right. Right. Let me ask you this. Triple H is now back in talent relations.
Yeah,
I think replacing John Laurinaitis. He held that job previously. What do you think about Triple H being the head of talent relations now? Is that a good spot for him?
man, just think about it for a second. I'm not saying NXT is anything bad about NXT or anything like that, but just think about how many people how excited they were when he was running it.
Yeah.
Just just think about the shows that were being produced when Hunter was at the helm of NXT. They were competing with WrestleMania, as far as excitement for the show.
Right.
Those NXT takeover shows, man, that stuff was getting so big. It was getting out of hand. I was like, man, you guys, man, this thing is getting so big. We're beginning to compete against ourselves. That's the way I thought. I didn't think it was, the route to go, me personally. But did Triple H have NXT a buzz and people going crazy about NXT? I think so. I think so. So I think Hunter being able to see it from a different perspective, of course, having a close relationship with a lot of these younger guys that Vince didn't have, with these younger guys. Almost like when we were coming up, and when, just say for instance, the Attitude Era, even when I was there, just imagine how close Vince was with those guys, Taker and Shawn Michaels, and all those guys back. Just think about it for a second,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm sure the relationship with Hunter is more so close to, the guys of this era, somewhat like Vince of that era. I could be wrong. But I think that these young guys, like, just say for instance, Adam Cole, when he was in NXT, when things were like going crazy as far as NXT go, just think how much praise those guys gave to Hunter. Just think about it for one moment. So all of those guys, they gave Hunter a ton of praise. So my thing is, yeah, things may be different, but we never know. We never know how the thing's going to turn out. We'll find out. We're going to find out real soon. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We just sitting here kicking it, talking a little sports and entertainment right here. ESPN 97.5 and 92.5, always bringing it to you and giving you, more importantly, guys, the truth. It's all about the truth here in the Hall of Fame.
The truth will set you free, man. The truth will set you free. We have Virgil Dawkins, who says, sad part about Vince retiring is that it's perceived he only left because of the allegations. But what if he does feel age is catching up to him? Obviously, it'd be silly to say that the allegations, it just feels like it has a part to do with it, right? I mean, it does. All the investigations and allegations and all that feels like it has something to do with it. We don't know that, but logic would tell you it does. But again, Book, we don't know if this is something that he's thought about over the last several years. Maybe that's why he wanted to wrestle at this year's WrestleMania. He's like, look, this is probably my last opportunity to do it. I'm gonna beat up Pat McAfee. I'm gonna get that dub at WrestleMania, and then I'm gonna ride off into the sunset. Maybe that was on his play anyway. I don't really know. I do think that obviously the allegations probably had something to do with it, or maybe expedited his already plan to leave early. But more than even that, I want to ask you about the person who's taking over. Stephanie McMahon. This is somebody who a couple months ago we heard was going to take a leave of absence. And what a turn of events has taken place recently, because now she is now the chairwoman and the co-CEO of the company. You have worked with Stephanie McMahon before. I know you have a great relationship with Stephanie, and she thinks very highly of you from what I remember. What do you think about her being the new Vince, for lack of a better term?
I don't think she's going to be the new Vince. I think she's just going to be the new Steph, and I think she's going to do things her way. Stephanie has always been someone that she's a stickler about things being right. Okay. And one thing I would imagine is Stephanie's going to have a really good team around her, trying to make sure they put out the best product. More than I think that's where all the gears are going to have to shift towards now. Okay, Vince is not at the helm. Vince is not, in the board meetings, not the board meetings, but the writing meetings on a weekly basis. The script is this, we don't have to worry about, Vince seeing something that he don't like, maybe something good, maybe something that, these young, millennials, this, what am I called? Generation Z. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
That's
Generation Z.
that yeah, they might like it. You know what I mean? So I think things are going to be done a little bit differently. I don't know how differently, but I can imagine things are going to be looked at from a collaboration and saying, "Hey guys, let's get the best damn product out there that we possibly can and beat the hell out of the competition." I think that's what it's about.
I think she's a great choice. Stephanie and Triple H for that matter have been kind of groomed for this position for a long time. And I don't know anything about Nick Khan really. I don't really pay too much attention to the moves that they make on the business side. I'm watching the TV show. But it seems as though he's making good moves. I mean, WWE's never been more profitable, and it's happened with him as the president of the company, right? So him as the CEO, co-CEO, I'm sure it's only going to continue to become more profitable. And these next TV deals are rumored to be historic when they get there, as far as profitability for the company. So
Yeah.
I think it's under good hands. I really do. And I'm just excited to see what changes come about, because change can be good. And Vince has been doing it for so long that at times when you do it for that long, you can become rigid in your ways, right? He's been known to like a particular style, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's his playground, as we said before, but now somebody else is going to play in it. So we'll see. This is our another super chat we'll take on the Vince McMahon topic. Again, if you're just tuning in, Vince McMahon retires at the age of 77. And right now and later says, "Hi, Book. In your opinion, what's the one thing Vince did well? And what is one thing Vince could have done differently?"
What did Vince do well? It's kind of a hard question. Um, Man, that's really, really hard. That's really, really hard. I mean, as far as Vince taking the business from it just being, territories and making it something global. Um, I think that's a little bit of something. You know what I mean? Creating so many, not just wrestlers, but creating so many superstars. Uh,
Mhm.
Vince, we were just talking about it not too long ago for for the guys. That Attitude Era, that was such a hot time in professional wrestling. Guys are still living off that era. The fans still love those guys more than they love any wrestling era um, that they had ever seen. And I'm not just saying that. The fans still flock to want to be a part of those guys' lives. So Vince did a hell of a lot of good. As far as what did he do bad? Um, I don't know. Is it bad not to, listen to anybody, take nobody advice? And say, man, I'm running this ship. I'm doing it my way. Uh,
Be
it could,
somewhat negative.
yeah, it could be. It could be looked at that way, But I don't know. He's never done anything bad, to me. I can say that.
Yeah. I think that probably his unwillingness to change a creative direction, maybe
Yeah,
could be something that you could say.
that's what I mean.
That's what you mean.
That's what I mean. As far as not taking anybody's advice and saying, "Hey, man, I'm going to run it my way." Your ideas, they don't really matter. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. I maybe could have been a lot more open as far as that goes. As far as that goes, but you got to understand one thing also with Vince. A lot of the guys that he had around him back in the day that was helping him uh, create a lot of that magic. Yeah, those guys are unsung heroes. You might not hear their name all the time or anything like that, but a lot of those guys they aged out. They aged out, and then there was a lot of young guys came in, and Vince McMahon had to listen to guys that, more importantly, he didn't really know him, and then on the other hand, he didn't even trust them. man, that right there is that's a whole lot to weigh. You know what I mean? As far as who do you trust with this? And all your guys that you had, all the guys that you had around you before, they're gone. Most of them are gone. Only you got Bruce Pritchard and you got John Laurinaitis. All the rest of them gone. You know what I mean?
I think you might only have Bruce Pritchard now. I mean, from what I'm understanding, John Laurinaitis is on
No,
administrative
I'm
leave.
talking about over the last few years.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Pritchard, John Laurinaitis. That's it. The Pat Pattersons of the world, those guys. The Blackjack Lanzas of the world. Those guys, all of those older guys that was in that older circle.
Briscoe,
The Tony
Slaughter.
Gurrias,
Yeah.
Slaughter. Those guys, they aged out. You know what I mean? So I get it. I understand it. As far as not really wanting to trust anyone.
We'll take one more before we wrap up this hour of the show. This is from Pure Country Racing, who says, if you were Stephanie, who would be the one or two fired superstars, male or female, that you would rehire?
I probably want to get Bray Wyatt back in the fold, man.
Great answer.
Just because Bray was such an enigma. He was off on his own island, but I feel like so much could have been done with Bray Wyatt that wasn't. And man, he definitely would be one as far as that goes. As far as females go out there.
Who's a woman who's been cut?
I know. I mean, of course, she's my student. I don't want people to, say he's biased or anything like that. But Ember Moon, I mean, I know she's got a job over there with AEW right now, and she's probably wouldn't want to come back, but I don't know. I don't know from a female perspective. Maybe the guy, maybe the girl with the Tony Storm, with the eye patch.
Tony Storm. Yeah.
I thought Tony Storm was. I thought she had something, man. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you check out the OnlyFans, I'm just playing. I haven't seen anything.
For the research purposes only, of course.
Research purposes only. But maybe Tony Storm would be somebody that I would have wanted to get back, because she definitely would have been a really good addition for the women's division. I think that's one thing that's going to change a little bit too in WWE now. Maybe since Vince has stepped away, the Evolution pay-per-view, the women having their time to shine, building that women's division back to what it was when they actually had the Evolution pay-per-view. I think something like that would definitely be in order now, which, I don't think there's any limits. I don't think that, the sky's the limit right now as far as, what they can do. I could be wrong. We'll find out. I know we gotta take a break, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
What the indie world meant to me. It was kind of like when you were an artist and you start, like for example a comedian, you start playing the small clubs. If you're a band, the same thing, you start playing the small clubs, you kind of learn your repertoire, you learn how different audiences react. There's like maybe more hostile environment, and it's way more personal because there's less people there, there's less of like things around, it's just you and the audience. And I feel that's when you really learn your craft, that's when you learn how to adapt, how to change, how to find something that works. So to me, it's kind of the foundation to everything I do. And that's Big E. And that's his foundation to everything he does.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me as well, guys. And we're talking everything sports and entertainment. You're inside the Hall of Fame on ESPN 97.5, 92.5. Always, guys, bringing you the truth. That's what it's about inside the Hall of Fame. You know, that's going to be my new tagline. The truth. It's all about the truth.
I like it.
Almost like Justice Smollett. You know, when he said it. You remember that? You remember? Because you knew he was lying. I'm just playing, man. You know, what do? You know, when it's the truth. It's the truth. How you lie? Where is Jesse, man? Where is Jesse? Like I said, we're talking about everything, man. We're talking about everything.
His
What's
name
up,
is
Brad?
Jesse, isn't it? Jesse
I
Smollett.
said Jesse. I said Jesse.
You said Jesse.
I said Jesse. In the hood, his name would be Jesse. All right.
I remember Chris Rock said that. He goes, "That you is respect. That
Yeah.
you is respect. You Jesse now." Hey, you know, look, we were talking about on the last show about the retirement of Vince McMahon. People still obviously want to talk about that. Claudio Castagnoli is the new Ring of Honor World Champion. Jonathan Gresham has some transgressions with Tony Khan, and of course, Book, you were still all over A&E television with Smack Talk, and there's Rivals. They had the new biography come out over the weekend, and here's
Yeah, man.
something I wanted to ask you about. There's a couple
Yeah.
things on it, right? I want to start though with this most recent biography that came out, the Bella Twins, right? WWE Hall of Famers, the Bella Twins.
Yeah.
A lot of people still to this day give the Bellas flack. Like
Big time.
they're not a part of the legacy of the company, or they didn't earn their way, and they almost view them in the same way that the bikini era of WWE was, right? They say they're kind of a part of a bygone diva era. What do you feel about the Bella Twins? Have they earned their place in your mind, and not only the Hall of Fame, but to have this A&E biography? Is their legacy? Well, how does their legacy square with Booker T?
Twin Magic. The Bella Twins. You know, the way I look at the Bella Twins, a lot of, the fans, they look at, there again, a lot of times, let's just say a lot of times the fans these days, they're going to look at the Bella Twins, and they're looking at if they did a death match. Have they ever did it? No, I'm serious, right? Have they ever did a barbed wire, a cane match or whatever? They're looking to see have they broke. They're looking for something more than what I'm looking for, in the Bella Twins. And I think if you go in, I think if you was to do your research and just go and find out how much money the Bella Twins have generated for the WWE, you probably lose your damn mind. I'm serious. You go, wow. I mean, because they were unique. They were different. Okay. You just can't put anybody in the Bella Twin spot and make it work out the way they did. You just can't. Okay. The reality show, no, not just anybody is going to get it. Okay. Hollywood is not going to come calling just for anybody. That's just not the way it happens. If you think that's the way it happens, go and get you a reality show and see how it work out. I'm being serious here.
Yeah, I hear you.
Serious. Being dead serious. So what the Bella Twins brought to this business in this industry and to the WWE is well above what people can see on the surface. You know what I mean? So I'm sure they're highly sorted, even still now. As far as if someone wanted to book the Bella Twins.
I agree with everything that you said regarding the Bellas. I think that it's easy just to say, oh, they were a part of the diva era, and they came in through the diva search and this, that, and the other. But you just hit it on a second ago, that reality show, right? Total Divas and Total Bellas. It's one thing to get a reality show. It's another one to make a reality show watchable, right? And it's another one to expand an audience of the WWE through that reality show. There were more young women, teenage women, and even grown women who became fans of the Bella Twins and everybody else on that show because of Total Divas. It expanded the WWE's audience to brand new demographics not seen before. And then the Bellas not only said, look, they could have coasted. Well, they could have coasted. They could have said, look, we're beautiful. We got name recognition. We can just coast on this. But what'd they do? They trained their asses off to become better in the squared circle. And when you talk about that Evolution pay-per-view, the main event was Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella was working at a high level, telling great stories. And you would talk about sacrifices. That woman broke her neck, right? Broke her neck for this business. And to me, anybody who degrades either one of those two women for the contributions that they made to this industry, then you're not a fan of the same thing that I am watching.
Well,
I
it's
can
not just
recognize.
I mean, it's just people just talking about Bella as wrestlers. You just said it a second ago. Have a reality show, but have a spinoff reality show to have it be successful. I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about Kim Kardashian. She parlayed her success into a reality show that people love her just because of that reality show. So it's like I'm not looking to try to stomp on anybody's legacy or anything like that. And the Bellas definitely have their spot in WWE history.
Absolutely. And you know what, though? There's another A&E show that came out, Rivals. And this week's Rivals was talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. And there was a quote that went out from it that you were involved with, right?
All right.
Regarding the show, right? And you and Peter Rosenberg were having, I guess, like a little friendly conversation regarding it, because Peter Rosenberg was almost taken aback by the fact that Steve Austin was looking kind of over his shoulder at The Rock, on the come up. And y'all had a back and forth about it, and The Rock chimed in on y'all's conversation. And The Rock said, great chop up here with Peter and Book. Love what Book is saying. True. We are all laser focused on being the best. That never goes away. F having friends. I said that as nice as I can. Can you speak to that a little bit more? What you meant in that clip, and then what The Rock just said in response to it? Not having friends, kind of always trying to get the number one spot.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys these days, they, take offense to it when I say stuff like that. But it's not like, you hate the people that you're working with or anything like that. You're thinking about being the best, and the guy that's next to you is thinking about the same thing. And as far as wanting that spot, yeah, you want to be in the main event, or you want to work with the guy that's in the main event. That's just something that we always talked about. And you don't have time to have buddies and friends when you're aspiring to be great. You just don't have time for it. And the ones that do, they normally get left behind. They really do. No offense to those guys or anything like that, but to be the best, you got to understand exactly what your job is every week. And that is to come in there and steal the damn show, no matter who's on it. And that's the bottom damn line, like Stone Cold said so.
And I completely understand that. And it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy spending time around the guys, but no, at the end of the day, this is an industry where there can only be one world champion.
It's competition.
There can only be one top paid guy. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
the
the thing.
We got along. Right?
Yeah.
We got along.
We got along, but it wasn't like we was coming to. I'm gonna tell you right now, the guys that was over and the guy that was getting pushes, they didn't eat at catering together. They wasn't like coming up and saying, "Hey man, what's going on?" They wasn't doing that. They were in their own freaking zone, thinking about how do I headline WrestleMania next year? That's what we were thinking. We were thinking about getting in that main event spot so we could get that main event check. Okay, bottom line, and that's just no no gray area, to speak of as far as that goes. And we're close now, though. Friends, I would even say in certain aspects, because Stone Cold Steve Austin, I love that dude, man. Taker, man, that's my brother, man. That's my brother. A lot of these guys, that I competed with, Chris Jericho, that's my dog, But back then, none of that, none of that. It was about competition. It was about being the best each and every night and going out and stealing the show. More importantly than anything, guys, we got to take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
What's going on? It's WWE superstar Apollo Crews here. I just want to talk for a minute about what the Indies meant to me. Traveled up and down the road for a long time, and they meant so much to me. It was a huge part of getting me to where I am today, and that is a part of the WWE. I actually did some work with Booker in Houston, drove from Atlanta. Those drives, I feel like those drives that we take, 14-hour drives, those type of things develop some kind of character in you that you can't find anywhere else. The Indies mean a lot to me. Got to travel to Japan, Europe, UK, toured all over, and for me, it was just a huge part of helping me become the superstar that I am today. So I'm very grateful that I got to experience the Indies, and that's it for me.
What's up, this Booker T, two-time Hall of Famer. I know you're checking out The Shine, checking out The Gloss. I want to thank you guys for checking out Row on YouTube. Hey, don't forget to click and subscribe to check out all the latest content right here each and every week. Now, can you dig that, sucker? Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We're just chopping it up, talking about everything sports and entertainment. I see we got a boatload of super chats, Brad, and I think we better get to them before we try to run out of time here. In the second
I agree.
half.
Let's go. Paul Cologne says, I'll miss Vince. I think this will be one of those you don't know what you had till it's gone things. The one thing fans can't do now is blame him. Yeah, Vince, as much credit as he shouldered, he also shouldered a majority of the blame from the fan community.
I was looking at a quote that MVP had put out. He said these young wrestlers are going to have to develop thicker skin. I don't think that's something that Vince McMahon had a problem with, as far as having thick skin and being able to take the criticism right on the chin and keep on moving.
Yeah, no, Vince definitely. Look, anytime he had controversies or anything we saw, he faced him head on, which you got to respect a man who can do that no matter what he's being accused of. Van Dollar Bill says, hi, Booker T. I love your wrestling company and channel. I love Vince McMahon, Kiss My Ass Club. And I love it when he says, hell in a cell. And you're fired.
I was never in that club.
Never made it.
Guys, I never got a chance to. I wasn't looking to be a part of it, but I didn't even get any invitations to be a part of it as well, and so that's a good thing. That's a really, really good thing. So yeah, man, that club was definitely one for the ages. Let's say that.
I remember I was watching live when Vince said, when the first night they did the Kiss My Ass Club, and it was William Regal, I believe, was the first person who had to kiss Vince's ass. And there's this man in his late 50s, 60s, whatever he was at the time. And I'm thinking as a kid, there's no way this guy's actually going to kiss his rear end on television. Like, that's not going to happen. And then there's Vince. He pulls his pants down. He's wearing a black thong. And he's got this pasty white butt.
Oh, my God.
Regal puts chapstick on. And I'll never forget this line so long as I live. I haven't seen this since it happened, but I'll never forget this line.
Oh,
Vince is
my
like,
God.
Vince goes, hurry up. Look, I can make my ass do tricks. And he starts like shaking his butt cheeks. I could not believe what I was seeing. And in my mind, I thought, oh, this is why my parents don't want me to watch wrestling.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's reasons like this.
Oh my God, man. Yeah,
Uh,
definitely, man. You knew you was on the list when you was in that club.
woo. King Infamous Z says, "Would you be open to one more match between you and Triple H?"
Nah, man. I don't think Triple H is going to be having any more matches, and nah, I don't think. I don't think. I don't think Hunter and I are looking to rehash any old, any old matches that we've had in the past. You know, people always talk about the WrestleMania 19 match with Hunter and I, and I just want you guys to know, y'all gonna get a treat on that right there. Y'all gonna. I don't want to say anything other than that. You're gonna get a treat as far as Hunter and Booker T. I tell you what, you might see Hunter and Booker T go toe to toe one more time. Let's just say that.
Oh,
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna guarantee it. How about that? I'm gonna guarantee you're gonna see Hunter and Booker T go one on one more time. How about that? Stay tuned.
wow. Breaking news here. Breaking news.
Smart. Yeah.
Um, Allison Tuckwab
Tuck Web.
says Vince is retired because of his personal problems, but when that gets settled, I think that he'll be back. I would now let me ask you this. Would you be shocked if Vince McMahon ever comes back to the WWE?
I wouldn't be shocked if Vince came back to WWE. I definitely won't be shocked if Vince made appearances periodically. I wouldn't be shocked at all because he's an attraction. Like you just said it earlier. As far as best heel perhaps in the business, and you always want to bring guys back like that. So yeah, I can see Vince back in some capacity.
Yeah, I definitely could. I think that Vince, even if he's just an on-screen character of some kind, I could see them doing that.
Yeah.
Jason Marone says, from welcoming fans back to SmackDown after 70 weeks to inducting the iconic Undertaker into the Hall of Fame, Vincent Kennedy McMahon seems to really enjoy his recent appearances. Yeah, maybe he knew. Maybe he knew he was going to hang it up because he was milking it a little bit.
Hey man, you thing is, when it's time. All right. I mean, whether he did it because of the stuff that he's going through right now, and that right there. I'm gonna tell you right now, to brave through it is one thing, but to still have it hanging over your head, and the worry of going through stuff like that, having to actually go to court and deal with stuff like that, it's a pain in the butt, man. It's no fun at all. It's very, very stressful. And for Vince to actually have to go through something like that again, I'm sure that may have had something to do with stepping away. And the thing is, I couldn't blame him. You know what I mean? If that was it, but he's definitely there again been one to power through situations like this.
Yeah, he's never shied away from controversy, and he's always kind of met it and took the bull by the horns. Terry Thompson says nothing, but leaves super chat. We appreciate you, Terry. Mick
Appreciate
Mac
Terry.
Booker, did you ever have the Booker T-bone at the Nitro Grill?
Yeah, man. Heck yeah, I had the BT bone. It was pretty good too. I made sure they put a little burn around the edges just a little bit. Got to heat it up a little bit faster in order to get the burn properly. Put it on, actually get an extra quick sear on it. You know what I mean? At the temperature, I think it's got to be up a little bit over 400. 350 is not going to get it right. 400. But yeah, I've had it. I just wanted to give you guys a little cooking lesson at the same time.
Okay. The Booker T-bone. I know in the WWE cookbook that was written by Allison Robicelli, who I've actually got no Robicelli, excuse me. There was a Long Island Booker iced tea.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah. The thing is, you can
Have you
use the
done
tea. You can use the tea for so much, man. You can use the tea for so. I never had that Long Island iced tea, the Booker tea, Booker T, Long Island ice. I never had that just because that Long Island iced tea, bro. You get one of them in you done. You
It's over.
done. It's-
It's over.
You done. So that's a recommendation. I know you don't drink or anything like that.
I don't.
That hurricane and that Long Island iced tea, man, used to mess me up when I was a youngster. Stay away from that drink, y'all, young people. Stay away from it.
Allison Tuckwab back again, who said the Uso twins outlasted the Bella twins in wrestling. Saw the Bella twins sup cuz they can't wrestle like the Uso twins. I just wish they can last longer just like the Usos. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, Usos are great, Bellas are great, completely different.
Everybody got their own opinion. Bella's, I'm gonna tell you right now, who's easier on the eyes?
Well, it ain't Jimmy and Jay. I'll tell you that much.
You damn right. Okay. so, so we got a winner.
That's for damn. Uh, Paul Cologne says, "Friendship ain't paying these bills or getting me into the Hall of Fame."
I hate to harp on stuff like that as far as having friends in this business. At the end, I've been in it a long time, and I can almost guarantee you this. I can almost guarantee you it's not going to be too many people that, even though we've been in the trenches together, that I can call and say, "Hey, man, I'm down on my luck, and I need help for the next 6 months. Can you help me out?" It might be one or two people I can call. You know what I mean? It might be one or two people that I can call out of the 30 years of people that I've known in this business. So it's nothing more than thinking about the one thing you should be thinking about when you're in this industry, because it's a very, very short window. I know we got to take a break here in about a minute and a half. It's a very, very short window. And if you don't get in and do something while you're in there, man, that window's going to shut, and it's going to shut relatively quick. So you got to be motivated towards thinking about what is the end game as far as this wrestling business goes. Okay, because just say, for instance, back in the day, in the Ric Flair days when they first started, those guys, just like NBA players, back in the 70s, they wasn't making a whole lot of money. The guys now, they're making a whole lot of money doing this if they can make it to a top level in this business. So you better think about getting in, making as much as you can, because it's going to be over, and it's going to be over relatively quick. So one injury, one bad match, things could tilt the other way. So understand what the game what the game is truly all about. That's taking care of the fam at the end of the day. Guys, we got to take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. You're worth it.
13 years, the King of Solar Screens has been an industry leader, and we proudly use 100% American-made products. Home of the $55 any size, any color solar screen.
Well, what about arches?
$55.
What about circles?
$55.
What about rectangles?
$55.
Any size, any color, installed free. The King of Solar Screens, on time, every time.
Now, can you dig that, sucker? Can you dig it, sucker? Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. You were just chopping it up there again, talking about everything sports and entertainment here on ESPN 97.5, 92.5. What do we got, Brad? We got any more super chats? Because we definitely got to talk about the big matchup between Castagnoli and Gresham.
Yeah, we do have a ton, but why don't we spend a couple minutes on minutes? Let's spend some money and some minutes on this Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view that saw Claudio, the former Cesaro, go out there and win his first world title, the Ring of Honor World Championship. He held it or he won it, and now he is the Ring of Honor World Champion. Beat Jonathan Gresham, who apparently was not too pleased leading up to that match. And I think after learning that, it makes a lot of sense why that match went on first instead of last at the Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view. But what do you think, Book?
Good for Castagnoli, man. He definitely deserves being in the spotlight. I think being in that company, bringing him in, and then putting him in a position to where he's in the spotlight immediately. That's not going to be a good look as well. So him winning the ROH world title. I mean, there's so many damn world titles now, man. I mean, we got world title TNA, NWA, ROH, AEW, WWE. Everybody, it's so many world titles out there.
I agree with you.
Yeah. But is it a good look for Claudio? I think so. Yeah. I think it's a good thing. My thing is the story is not Claudio, so to speak, as far as the sheets right now. The story is Jonathan Gresham being upset that he did not get proper time to really process this whole thing, and damn it, I'm hot about it. What do you think about that, if that's the case?
Yeah, I
Jonathan
mean, we're hearing that he
Jonathan Gresham been a loyal ROH loyal for about what 8 years now.
at least, or maybe longer than that.
I mean, he was reality wrestling for a minute, and he's been with ROH ever since he left reality wrestling, and that guy has been pretty much the guy that's been leading the ship along with Jay Lethal at one point.
Those two guys, those are the two guys I would say led the ROH ship.
Yeah, definitely the pillars of our ROH. What do you think about Gresham being upset about dropping the title to Castagnoli?
Well, I don't know so many of the details, and from what I read, it was more about the communication issue that he signed with AEW, Ring of Honor, and then he said he was kind of put off in a corner and not really told what was going on. And this whole week was just kind of left in the dark. Now, whether that's true or false, whether that's his interpretation of poor communication or not, I don't know. But I will say he's not the first person I've heard has had communication issues with management over at AEW. We've heard several stars kind of complain about that in their post AEW careers.
George Janela said he couldn't even get a text back.
Yes. And I think the same was true for Marco Stunt.
Marco Stunt said, man, I ain't nobody called me and told me nothing. Yeah. So, yeah.
So I will say that Gresham could have some grounds here, but we're gonna have to see. I think that at least he was irritated, he was frustrated, he didn't like what was going on, but you know what he did, Book? He went out there and did his job.
He did his job.
I can't hate on a man who did that.
No, he did his job, and then afterwards he said, "Look, man, give me my release." If that's true.
If that's true.
Allegedly, this is what has been said. Give me my release. I want out of here. Pretty much right now. And my thing is this, man. I don't know, man. The business, I don't know. It's changed. It's changed a lot. It's changed a whole lot as far as. Then again, maybe it had changed a whole lot. Because I remember guys, just say for instance, back in the day, they were told they're going to be losing the belt. And I remember one guy, I don't even want to say his name, he started crying because he was going to be losing the belt. I will say it was in WCW. Guy was told that he was going to be losing the belt, and he literally started crying. So I've seen it before. I'm not going to even go. I don't even want you doing any research.
I'm investigating.
Find out what are the weakest guys that held belts? I would have started crying.
I will say this, not so much about Gresham or Claudio, but something you said a minute ago. There was a Beastie Boys and Nas song, right, that came out about a decade ago, and it was called "Too Many Rappers." And Nas said on the song, "There's too many rappers, not enough MCs," right? And I think that same is true in wrestling. I think there are too many titles and not enough champions, right? So many guys have a belt. So many guys in both companies, AEW and WWE. There's all kinds of titles. I don't see a lot of champions, though. I really don't. I see a couple. But I
Yeah.
think that hey, everybody gets a belt thing, and there's 20 belts on the show, it does nothing for anybody. If everybody won, look, there have been 44 people, 45, something like that. 45 people who've been the president of the United States, right? It's a pretty coveted position. Not everybody can say they've been the president of the United States. But it seems like nowadays in the WWE and AEW, everybody's been a champion. Hell, Scott Hall was never a world champion. Jake Roberts was never a world champion. But everybody is like a 20-time champion now.
Hey, bro,
But,
I get it, man. Look, I get it. I
Champion
understand your frustration. All right, I get it. That's what a business is now, though, and I think these guys could be looked at as champions if they went out there and played that role. I was just actually I ran into a couple of AEW guys over the weekend. Actually, just yesterday. The Acclaim.
Clay.
Yeah, I ran into those guys, man, at a signing I was doing, and I look at them and I say, man, these guys got talent, man. They can make it to the next level. I look at the bigger one, the Max Caster, and I just want to put it out there, nothing against his partner or anything like that, but that Max Caster kid, man, he's got WWE written all over him. I'm just saying. I just want to throw that out there. Yeah. And just talking to him, and I'm just like, I like a lot of stuff you guys do, but it's maybe one thing, maybe two things I don't. And they're asking me, what is that? And I was talking to him, and I said, it's not that you can't do it. It's just that you just have to do it a certain way. And I think they understood totally my point. And that's what I think wrestling is. It's still wrestling. Fans still want to feel a certain way when they watch it. And the fans do feel a certain way, even though they watch it the way it is today. But I just think the compelling stories could be so much more as far as those guys that want to be looked at as champion. It's not all about your wrestling moves or anything like that, just your aura.
Yeah. Now, Book, we have a ton of super chats still.
Roll it,
I'm not
roll
sure.
it.
I'm not sure we can get to them all. We'll try. Kenny Williams says, for me, Vince McMahon is the GOAT. He's made all the top guys. He's the best heel, and he was the best seller. His reactions to everything were hilarious. Oh, yeah. Vince was king of gifts.
No doubt. No doubt.
He'd do his ear thing. Phenomenal. Callie Toenail says, so Ric Flair reportedly has a foot injury. Said if it's bothering him that day, he'll just numb it. How can you even?
Yeah. I saw that. Ric Flair said, man, he's just gonna hit it, with some Novocaine or something like that, and boom, we're just gonna keep on rolling. Whoa! So yeah, we'll see, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Let's see. What else we got here? We got this. Booker, Cena, Vince. The YouTube clip. Okay, yeah. Whatever, man. We have always one who wants to, put a turd in the punch bowl. Kid says, is there anything Vince-like you plan to do for Reality of Wrestling?
Well, if right now I just lost control of the company.
Yeah, so you know what? Y'all in the same position.
Exactly.
It's very Vince-like. I know we have another one here. Oh, no, that was it. No, we have one more. This comes from Ring Mayhem Pod TV. It was an honor to meet you at PCW Ultra, to take a pic with you, and the Queen was definitely a highlight of our night. Would you put FTR versus Briscoes up there with one of the best tag team rivalries? I know they tore the house down apparently on Saturday. I haven't been able to watch the full Ring of Honor show yet.
You know what? I think that could become a rivalry that people can be talking about for a very, very long time, because FTR is definitely a hell of a tag team, and the Briscoes, those guys have been out there making a name for themselves, looking to get a little bit of a rub and a come up at the same time, and hopefully they will, because they're tag team to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. But hey, guess what? Those are our super chats. And Book, I think that's our show.
We got to roll up out of here, man. We got to roll up out of here because I got to get back on the road tomorrow, man. I've been working. I feel like James Brown, the hardest working man in show business. But it feels good. It feels real good. I want to thank everybody, guys, for the super chats, everybody who had a part to play inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Bradley, as always, man, couldn't do it without you. Hey, guys, same place, same time. We'll see you. We out of here. Booyah.